We will henceforth screen infrastructure projects for PPP suitability, says Finance Minister. Invest more in agriculture and depend less on FAC. mp4 task governors. Ministry of Mines and Steel to leverage Securities and Exchange Commission's commodities ecosystem to advance trade in solid minerals. Our focus today is on palm oil, a commodity once the pride of the nation. What is its place in economic growth? Find out in the course of the program. My name is Musa Abubakar and we are reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed says all recovered physical assets are in the custody of the agencies that effected the recovery, while recovered funds are lodged into forfeiture accounts with the Central Bank of Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the minister gave the insight during an appearance before the House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating the management of recovered looted funds and assets.
The minister, who is making a first appearance before the committee, explained that the status of accounts harboring recovered looted funds are as contained in records submitted to the committee by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. She added that amounts were being borrowed from some of the recovery accounts to fund the budget and some exceptional requirements.
So what the Ministry of Finance has been managing is the cash, the liquid funds that come that are recovered in Naira as well as in foreign currency. We have had situations where we have had to ask for some exceptional approval to borrow from the funds to be able to meet some exigencies of the day-to-day operations of government. We now look at how to pay back, again by making provision in the budget for 2022 so that we are able to start paying back these borrowed funds.
The committee frowned at this development, pointing out that only the National Assembly can authorize utilization of funds as provided in the Constitution. The committee mandated the minister to set up a technical team which will work with the committee in the ongoing investigation. In its quest for additional information after explanation from the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, on the various transactions in the recovery accounts, the committee has invited the Central Bank Governor, Godwin Emefiele, to appear with details of all recovery accounts.
The federal government is seeking more public-private partnership in bridging the infrastructure gap, a critical component for achieving economic diversification. Experts at the webinar headed by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning say improving the nation's infrastructure stock will require adopting new models of investment that will address the new challenges brought up by COVID-19. Bosede Abel reports.
Of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed at a webinar announced that from the 2021-2022 budget cycle, all infrastructure projects in Nigeria must be screened for public-private partnership, sustainability and compliance with the National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan by the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning and the Bureau of Public Enterprises before inclusion in national budget and subsequent procurement. Some estimates of the fundings needed to close the infrastructure gap, suggestions and a new approach introduced were also brought to the fore by panelists in treating the role of public and private partnership as significant to actualize the target.
Good infrastructure can expand the productive capacity of the economy by connecting supply chains.
It's critical for investors to see governments acknowledge that transparency is a two-way process.
To close the infrastructure gap, they suggest investment in multiple billions of dollars each year in line with the Sustainable Development Goal.
is to use the commodity trading ecosystem of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) to advance trade in solid minerals as government sets all machineries in motion to boost revenue. This was the fallout of a meeting between the ministry and the commission in Abuja. It's another new front to grow the economy through diversification agenda, with SEC and Ministry of Mines and Steel driving the process. This courtesy visit by SEC is aimed at extending its commodity trading ecosystem to include solid minerals in a bid to explore ways to generate more income for the country.
We have pools of financing that are seeking investment outlets, and if we can really structure mining as a veritable investment destination, I think the country, as you rightly said, will really be the better for it.
I appreciate this marriage because for me it's going to help us in developing the sector, because one thing is that you have someone who is ready to lend voices or support to what you are doing.
The SEC ecosystem provides opportunities for investment in the commodities value chain. The synergy is expected to attract more participation in the solid mineral sector. Importation and demand for foreign palm oil have dropped drastically in Nigeria, according to the recent survey conducted by Oil Palm Producers Association of Nigeria. Before now, country was importing more than 300,000 metric tons of palm oil annually. The Apex Bank therefore set aside 30 billion naira loan facility for palm kernel farmers and processors.
We've started the disbursements. Like I said, first tranche of 30 billion has been disbursed and the train has moved. If you want to benefit from this revolution, please run and join, because the trade is moving fast. But those of you who feel you want to use foreign exchange to do different things, but not through palm oil importation or vegetable oil fats importation any longer.
Importation of palm oil is now illegal as government directs central bank governor to provide a window that will permanently open for investors, farmers and processors to access credit on a single-digit interest.
Pointed out, I believe the best way they are going, these resources should be used is that to identify the key players and those people that are actually in the sector, in the oil palm sector, like the farmer, smallholders, oil palm processors and all that. And then through those people, they can approach their banks and the bank can access it and then see if they actually fit or they actually have the infrastructure to actually support the loan and be able to make the loan to be workable.
If all things go as planned, Nigeria will take back its place in the global world business of palm oil. Of 1 kg of tomato increased by 0.09% year-on-year in April 2021. Let's take a trip to the commodities market before getting into the business of the day. Well, to the business of the day, of course, the focus today is on palm oil. Igwe Hilary Uche is the president, Palm Producers Association of Nigeria, and he joins the program from Owerri. You're welcome to Business Express.
Okay, my dear. Well,
okay, the importation of palm oil has dropped according to the research carried out by your organization. Are we producing enough?
we are really producing, but not much enough, because oil palm production, if left for only the farmers, I think it will not make any good reason. we still need government support for this production. I've been shouting and talking to Nigerians all over the years what they require to support oil palm farmers to make sure there is enough production. It's just like unlike cassava, unlike cocoa, unlike any other commodity in agriculture. Oil palm is extensive in area of plantation, production, processing, and others. I've been shouting on them that government should come in by supporting them with processing machines. There are lots of oil palm trees in the bush, plantations, fruits decay in the bush. I take my time to travel to every oil palm producing state and make sure I get to the plantations. What the farmers are lacking in Nigeria is processing capacity that will give them what they need. Okay. If you give farmers money now, they will use it for one other things. What they need is material machines to support them in processing. Before that, you talk of expansion by supplying them with seedlings. Seedlings. If no seedlings, you supply them with sprouted nuts. I made a complete research program that during the intervention, when they started talking about the intervention from Central Bank, I was plain enough to get to Central Bank by their own demand and told them what Nigeria need is giving them seedlings, not giving them much money, seedlings, so that those who have land will plant. Those who have no land will sell to those who have land. They will plant and expand their plantation. Then processing machines will help them harness the existing plantations. Support should only go to the existing farmers, not to portfolio farmers.
Okay, Mr. I don't know. Have you thought about working with research institutions to develop these machineries?
You see, let me tell you one thing. I was in Plateau State. I talked to this Plateau State. The governor was interested in my speech. He was in my presence, donated 3 complete oil palm machines for Plateau State oil palm farmers, waiting for the Central Bank support. Up to today, Central Bank has not done anything. The machines are there now in Plateau State. The governor single-handedly made the support and made available 3 oil mills. I was in Kaduna State. I talked to Kaduna farmers. One of them made available through the same source, our fabricator in Oyo State. The engineer, we know the engineer very, very well, Engineer Lomo. He always give us what we need. And he made available processing machine for the clusters in Kaduna State. I was in Akwa Ibom State. I made the same approach. I have 2 or 3 big oil palm processing machine owners in Akwa Ibom State. Daring about one of the farmers bought from the same Engineer Lomo a very good processing machine. Let me just tell you, these machines are working with them, but they still need government support.
Okay.
Our farmers are ready.
Okay, can you give us a picture of? Can you give us a picture of?
Giving money to farmers.
Okay.
Really, I'm there to guide, like I always promise.
Can you give us a picture of the quantity we are producing as at the moment?
The quantity we are producing cannot be written that I'm in my table. If you had given me the idea earlier, I should have made it available.
Can you give us an estimate?
The estimate?
Yes.
No, see, oil palm, like I told you, is not like cassava or cocoa. You see, what you know, you did the mill, the oil palm, the palm oil. We have special palm oil, which we are demanding the government to produce these machines for us.
Okay.
If they want to support, yes, we have special palm oil.
Just the estimate.
Palm oil.
Just the estimate. So, how much are we producing now?
Estimate, please. I'm just very frank to you. Because I'm just in my farm yesterday when you called me. I came back from the farm. This morning I was in the farm when your lady called me too. So
why is the commodity still expensive?
It is expensive now because of the cost of production. I've been yearning that oil palm needs support in the production area. That is in clusters. Federal government can vote out oil palm mills in clusters. Oil palm is just like harnessing the crude oil. Crude oil cannot be harnessed by one local government. They will need support from federal government to buy the necessary equipment to harness crude oil. It is just like palm oil. Palm oil automatically needs support from federal government to give them the special palm oil which is needed in the international market. I am saying it down without number. Palm oil is not like any other commodity in this country. Palm oil is an extensive and expensive product that needs government support, especially in the area of processing. I continue hammering it. If federal government do not support oil palm farmers, especially in the area of processing, there is no way Nigeria can think of being helped like palm oil was helping Nigeria before in the economy and the resuscitation of the economy. Now, palm oil, like in the international market, they need special palm oil. And this special palm oil is just only producing palm oil from the one of harvesting it. You nail it.
Okay, Igwe Hillary, can you tell us how you're addressing these problems? Briefly.
Yes. It's how we got the problems or how we can solve the problems.
Yes. Briefly.
The way we can solve the problems.
Yes, briefly.
I have actually organized the farmers in clusters. You see, let that be support in providing oil palm processing machines to clusters.
Okay.
If you provide not to individuals, to clusters.
Okay, Igwe Hillary Uche, thank you for your contribution. I'm afraid the time given to us has actually run out. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam.
Okay. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, has tasked governors of the 36 states of Nigeria to make their states more viable by investing more in agriculture, particularly crops in which they have comparative advantage, as well as to reduce their dependence on allocations from the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee. Mr. Emefiele dropped the challenge in Port Harcourt, where he disclosed that the CBN will no longer support the continued importation of items that can be produced in Nigeria, even as he pledged that the bank will collaborate with Rivers and other states in supporting the development of viable agricultural and manufacturing sector across the country, in line with the CBN mandate of promoting economic growth for the country. Emefiele identified land development as a major constraint to increase in agricultural activities in the southern parts of the country due to its topography, noting that the CBN had partnered with several states governments in the region under the Accelerated Agricultural Development Scheme, AADS. Now, on that note, let's take a trip to the commodities markets. Now, the index or share index closed Friday, the last trading day of the week, on a positive note by 0.56% to close 38,256.99 basis points, with market capitalization at 19.9 trillion naira. A total of 228.6 million shares worth 3.6 billion naira in 3,318 deals exchanged hands at the end of the day's trade. And the most active stocks for the day are Ikeja Hotel, Rail X, and Nemeth. Global market update is next with Ineka Oko.
Stocks in Asia mostly rose in Friday trade as investors reacted to the market debut of JD Logistics in Hong Kong. The Hang Seng Index closed fractionally higher at 29,124.41. The Nikkei 225 jumped 2.10% at 29,149.41, while the Shanghai Composite lagged, declining 0.22%. European markets also advanced on Friday to notch record highs as global stocks take heart from strong economic data out of the US. Germany's DAX gained 0.47% in early trade, London's FTSE 0.14%, and CAC 40 of France 0.44%. In the U.S., stocks climbed in early trade amid growing optimism over the U.S. economic recovery following strong labor market data. The Dow Jones Industrial Average recorded an opening gain of about 200 points. S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 also traded in positive territory. Meanwhile, while most stocks in Africa traded in a negative territory Friday, South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40 gained 1.16% at 61,505.76, and Namibia overall index 0.27%. That's global markets. I'm Neka Uko.
Thank you, Neka. That wraps this edition of Business Express. Remember to keep in touch with us, so do send in your comments, observations, and suggestions. Also be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on the NTS channel. You can also communicate with us on Twitter, and the handle is NT News Now, and the hashtag is BizX. Business Express returns Monday at 3 p.m. Be safe out there. I am Musa Abubakar. Enjoy the weekend.